Hey guys, Tyson here. Monday morning. It's a cold one in Seattle, but I wanted to spend a little bit of time educating you guys on oil pulling, both its origins and application and how to do it, but also, what my personal routine actually is. And I have my notes here, and it's a little messy, but I'm gonna take you guys through a few things. So. First off, what is oil pulling? Basically, what oil pulling is it actually is a pulling of toxins out of your mouth. And Oil pulling actually is something that came on the scene back in 1998, so the late 90s. An Indian magazine said, "Hey, what are your guys? What are your?" They just put this out to their community and said, "What are your guys' applications and uses of coconut oil, and how has it benefited you?" And it received thousands of testimonials around all of the different applications and what people saw as a benefit of using it in their daily lives. But if you are unfamiliar with Ayurvedic medicine or Ayurvedic health, it's an alternative medicine. It's the oldest known medicine that exists. It's about 3,400 years old, and so this was obviously well before toothpaste, mouthwashes, and all of those sorts of things. And so this is how they took care of their mouths and their teeth. So you can do Ayurvedic cleansing or oil pulling with a number of different products. You can use ghee, you can use sesame oil, and then of course coconut oil. I've never tried ghee or sesame. However, for people that don't like the taste of coconut oil because it's obviously super strong, these other alternatives can work. Zuda's coconut oil, because it's so light and it doesn't have a strong flavor, it doesn't cause any of those negative adverse reactions to the taste. It doesn't cause you to want to gag, basically. So it's quite nice for oil pulling. The way in which Ayurvedic medicine, they advise doing oil pulling actually begins before oil pulling. So when you wake up in the morning, they actually would like for you to scrape your tongue. What it does is scraping your tongue, it triggers peristalsis, which is basically activating your bowels for you to go to the bathroom. And then after that is when your oil pulling routine would basically begin. So what they would like for us to do, or for what they advise, I guess, would be first to floss. And flossing really helps to basically get in between, allow the coconut oil or the oil to get in between your teeth and reach those places that your toothbrush really doesn't get. So first you floss, and then basically you just take a spoonful of coconut oil. I take a pretty big spoonful. It just kind of depends upon how big your mouth is and what you prefer, but it doesn't really matter. But what you should understand is that when coconut oil is cold, it's in solid form. So you put it in your mouth, it's going to take a while for it to warm up before you're ready to actually start swishing it around. So here's the facts about oil pulling. First of all, it reduces plaque, which of course is good for preventing cavities. It also kills a bacteria called Streptococcus mutans or mutans. This particular bacteria that exists within our mouth, when we swallow, it gets into our arteries, and medicine and doctors have proven that these types of bacteria are bad for our arteries. So the coconut oil actually pulls those bacteria out of our gums and out of our mouth. And then when we get done, swishing the coconut oil, we spit it out. Then those exit in our spit and in the oil. The other thing it does is it develops good minerals for your teeth. So it helps protect by creating good minerals in healthy teeth and gums. There's not any scientific research to back this up, but a lot of Ayurvedic practitioners believe that oil pulling possibly pulls toxins out of your sinus and your sinuses and your brain even. So I will say that oil pulling definitely does create an experience in my body where I feel a little bit more energetic and a little bit more just awake. So I'm not sure why that is, but maybe that has to do with pulling toxins out of my sinus area. The other thing it does is there are good microbes that exist in our mouths. And when we give them coconut oil, we're feeding those good microbes, and those good microbes are what keeps the microbiology of our mouth in balance. And so that's a really important thing, because when we're using mouthwashes and toothpaste, those are antibacterial, so those are killing a lot of the good microbes that are existing in our mouths naturally. So coconut oil is really wonderful for that. So that's pretty much it as far as the facts and the origin. Once again, with my routine, floss first, switch it around, get in the shower if you want. That's a good place to do it, or do it just watching TV. Switch it around for 20 minutes. If you want to start with 5 or 10 minutes to ease into it, that's totally fine. But shoot for 20, and then once you get done with 20 minutes, spit it out. A lot of people have reported that it clogs their drains, so maybe best to do it in the toilet or in a garbage. And then when you're done, it'll feel like you've just walked out of the dentist, and you'll have nice white teeth. All right, guys, if you have any questions, let me know. Bye.